as we embark on a journey through KP Singh's life. It's the rare and inspiring moments that stand out among the many tales of adventure and perseverance. CNBC has captured decades of this remarkable man's vision and courage. And we are privileged to hear some of the most unforgettable moments from his extraordinary life. Join us as we delve into the story of KP Singh and discover the triumphs and challenges that have shaped his legacy.
Hello and welcome to On The Record. I'm Shireen Bhan, and today it is our pleasure to welcome on the program Chairman Emeritus of DLF, Mr. KP Singh, who's just been awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award at the EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards 2022. Mr. Singh, many thanks for joining us here on The Record, and congratulations on the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You know, the last conversation that you and I had was when you launched your book, Whatever the Odds, the story of DLF. And that's been many, many years. You sort of went into a self-imposed hibernation. You've decided to exit that. Why?
Because I do believe that when you reach the age of 90, you must give up active management of a listed company. Ours is a listed company. So I thought it's time that my son takes over, who's an extremely competent businessman of India. And I become emeritus, and a lot of people drag on. I'm not one of those guys. I was asking him several years earlier. I said, you step in. But then we had my late wife was not well, and all this kind of led on to. But at age of 90, I decided that I must give up this active executive role.
Yes, you did give up your active executive role a few years ago. But, you know, in many ways, your story is linked to the story of a changing India. DLF is 70 plus years old. You were at the helm of DLF for 5 decades. You've seen the Indian economy change. You've seen India change. As you look back at the progress made, but more importantly, the distance to be covered, what's your assessment?
Firstly, I feel people often talk India as a country. It is not a country, it's a continent. If you look at the situation when we've got independence, India was a very heterogeneous area where east, west, north, south, even local alike, the religion was different, dialects are different. There was nothing common. And there was education, literacy rates were completely different. So to homogenize it into a democracy, I must say it's a great feat. Successive governments today, one thing we can say, that within our constitution, what India is today is a homogeneous democracy, like of which there is no parallel in the world. So I feel that way. But having said that, I don't feel satisfied. We believe we should have done better. There's no doubt about it, and in every sector of the economy. And the only thing you do better, when a public sector takes the role of an enabler and leaves it to private sector to execute. Public sector is enabler and facilitator to encourage the private sector to step in and carry the economic activity. Now this period of last 40, 50 years, 60 years, was somewhat 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And I must say today that a decisiveness of this government during the last eight years has completely changed the roadmap, because there is a development, but development on a base created earlier. To say that base was not created earlier is wrong. It was a very good base created, but not good enough. So therefore, I believe today we are at the high time. The government is pushing it. Look at the state of the rural highways. You see expressways going on, world class, unheard of anywhere in the world. Look at the way government handled COVID case. So India is doing well, but insofar as I'm concerned, I always believe perhaps not enough. much more need to be done for one reason. One, we have got an excellent 29 years is the average age of Indian workman. And then we have got the highest talented entrepreneurs. You see, if you really see, I live outside, I meet them. Indian entrepreneurs are way, way better than any entrepreneur in the world I've seen. Our people can take on to any entrepreneur. So they only need encouragement and empowered to carry the business forward, because it is only ease of governance. Oh my God, the sky is the limit here.
Well, you know, you say that the sky is the limit here, but I want to pick up on something that you just said, that you live outside.
Yeah.
You are now a non-resident Indian.
Yeah.
You spend more of your time in London and in the south of France than you do in India.
Yeah.
Why is that the case?
Because it's a very personal thing. You see, perhaps there are few examples. I had an excellent married life, and my wife, late wife, was not only my wife, but was a wonderful support and friend to me. We were highly compatible. We grew together, and 65 years we were married together. She died. We tried the best in the world to save her. I mean, the battle which we fought against the air accident and cancer and all, but ultimately nothing could be done. So then what you leave into a situation, naturally as a lonely man you get depressed. Now this is not allowed to affect the functioning of a company. The company work is, you can't be depressed, you have to be positive, active. So I want to detach myself away and then devote the rest of my time in what I would like to do the best in my life. I have tremendous amount of relationship all over the world, friends. I like to visit them, meet them. And then, frankly, I'm quite a dedicated golfer. I'm very active. Earlier I used to play ball, so I carry my sports. So for me, it is a disconnecting from executive role. Because if I get connected to executive role, I would not be performing the best, because naturally, if you lose a partner for 65 years, you can't be the same. Your thinking goes differently. So I'm trying to restructure myself. But I'm here in and out. So I travel when I feel like.
You know, it's interesting that you talked about being consciously aware of the need to let go. And many Indian promoters struggle with that. In this phase of restructuring or reorganizing your life and learning to let go, what has been the hardest part?
Hardest part of what?
Of learning to let go.
Realism, because I'm one of those persons who understand one is called philosophical, other is realistic. I knew that a business operation requires active involvement regardless of your personal issues. Secondly, positivity. So when you lose a partner like this and you are in 90 years, your reactions become slower. Whereas the company needs actions of a, not that I've slowed down, by the way, not at all. I've not slowed down, but I've slowed down insofar as my responsibility towards the company is concerned. And my son is in fact doing better job than me, taking the company forward in a very high trajectory with the same values which I did, rather better. So I'm very happy when I look back. If he was not competent, would have been worried to me. I'm very proud of what Rajiv is doing. You must have heard the way, see how development is carried out, camellias and all. And by the way, you just initially started, yes, DLF perhaps is the only company, 76 years back, it was incorporated few months before India became independent. At that time, the founder, my late father-in-law, he was a very visionary man. So he thought that people will be coming from Pakistan. So he provided 21 colonies in Delhi. All these are provided by DLF, far ahead of the requirement. And there his business motto was the same as we carry now. Always carry business where ethic and morality are the uppermost. You will never cut corners, and all our operation will be within the four corners of the laws of the land. That was the way it started. That is what I did, and that's what my son doing. Fourth generation, and secondly, is not the third generation, fourth generation in the business. I don't believe there is any parallel like this thing in the country. Of course, real estate, none. But otherwise also, I would like to, I was doing myself, how many companies are there where the fourth generation and the brand values has got enhanced all the time of the right, and the company respect has increased, not gone down.
Yeah.
So that is what DLF is all about.
You know, I want to pick up on many of those things that you spoke of,
Sure.
but you said that you haven't learned to slow down. You're still pushing yourself to do the things that you enjoy doing. You've just stepped away as far as the company is concerned.
So I tell you why.
Yeah, no, but here's what I want to pick up on the comment that you made about George Soros. I don't want to get into the argument on what George Soros said, etc. But you said that his comments are a reflection of him being addled by age. That's a fairly ageist comment, wouldn't you say?
What is my age, you think? Tell me. Yeah, you're ready.
You're 90 plus.
No. So a lot of people think that I'm 70 because I'm active. And I must say, I must like to pay a compliment to this thing. You see, when my wife was, she knew 6 months before that we have exhausted all efforts in the world. Cancer was spreading all over. So we sat down. She was such a very positive and a matured lady. She said, KP, listen, the biggest wish of a happily married couple is when you go together. Not one is left behind. But in this case, what is happening is you have done your best, but I'm going now. It's a matter of few months. So therefore, I'm gone. You have a life ahead of you. Give me one promise. Make your life, don't give up, because by giving up life is not going to help me. But this life will never come back to you. You know, I followed it too. For a year or two, I was very lonely. You see television, more alcohol, television, because they're lonely. All my friends have passed away, hardly any person my age. I was very lucky that I met a very charming person who's my partner now, Countess Sheena. She's one of the best persons in my life I've met now. She is energetic. She keeps me on the toes. She learned golf, so that's my passion. And she has a wonderful set of friends all over the world. So I go with them. So therefore, slightly I want to slow down. She's pushed it. Come on, let's go, move. So therefore, I would say substantial part of my being what I am today, credit goes to her.
So you found love again?
Well, love is a different thing. I don't think, I can never love anybody, to tell you honestly. Love was my late wife. But I find a great compatibility with this new lady, Sheena. She's a wonderful person. And in a way, I would love, but love can't be distributed, isn't it? I loved my wife, late wife. I loved her dearly. At the moment, to say, I know when Sheena hears it, she would like me to say I love her. But I have to be frank. Yes, I appreciate her. I do everything. I'm grateful for the company she appraised away. But my love was only one in my life, and will never be any other love.
We are going to take a break, but we continue our conversation with DLF's KP Singh right after this. Welcome back. You're watching On The Record with me, Shireen Bhan, and I'm in conversation with DLF's KP Singh. Talk to you about the other love in your life, and that is DLF. Yeah. And you spoke about how the company is now being helmed by the third and the fourth generation, and it still lives by the values that you believe it was set up with. But there's been many controversies over the last 70 plus years. I don't need to recount them. You're fully aware of them. No. We've had conversations about your run-ins with Bansi Lal for no fault of yours. To, of course, what happened as far as the Robert Vadra matter was concerned, where there are FIRs, the matter is in court, a commission was set up, etc. What have been the big learnings there as far as a real estate company operating in India within the parameters of the law, but also having run-ins with political parties, politicians? What's been the big lesson?
Big learning is, which I practiced. First, you never get involved in any business relationship with any politician. You should have politicians as your friends, well-wishers. But not you should yourself not be in politics. I had one chance in '84 when the whole village community, where I bought the land, and this is the biggest success, they all came in a unanimous choice for member of parliament. So I talked to my late father-in-law. He said, "Beta, ek hi kaam nahi karna. Politics and business don't go together." So I was frankly slightly tempted because the whole unopposed I would have been. But for what? DLF would not have come there, the same thing. So I decided, no, two things will not. We will do our business with political friends, as we do with good relationship, well-wisher, but never cross the line. DLF has, I can tell you, please take it from me, we have never crossed the line of doing business against any law. What happens is, media needs some masala to bring things up.
No, it's not just the media,
no,
sir. I mean, to be fair.
No, please argue with me. Or let me ask you a question from you, to me. Let me set this, and I say again, in my productive life, I have never knowingly broken a law. I'm known to be a compliant freak. I am by nature. Secondly, yes, my whole life is built on relationship. I have relationship with every level of governance, whether bureaucrats, in the highest society abroad. You can imagine from the best, highest aristocracy in England and everything. I have friends in India. So friendship is my base, how I've gone through, not by doing anything else. So if somebody says, oh, DLF has done wrong, it is just a fiction of imagination. Now, when you come around, it is also you should know that when you grow up in life, law of gravity is such that they will pull you down, and in any case, so many people being jealous and all kinds, they will throw a story, but you keep your journey of going up, and everything falls the wayside if you are right. And I can tell you today, my late father-in-law, myself, my son, and the fourth generation, his daughter doing it, we are absolutely compliant on these things. Now, some people can make stories. Ask me stories.
So you know, you're saying that you've always knowingly not broken any law, but there have been instances, even when it comes back to the IPO, for instance, and there was a SEBI order, which of course then got overturned by SAT, but there was a SEBI order which barred you from accessing the capital markets, which penalized you and 6 other senior executives of the company as well. So today, as you look back, are there things now that you believe are non-negotiable? For instance, you said that there will be no dealings with politicians of any kind.
No.
So do you regret the deal done with Robert Vadra?
Not at all. This is not regret. My God, without that, DLF would have lost a massive money. Please understand the business work. You've got nothing to do. By the way, I've only played one day golf. I don't know the gentleman. Robert Vadra is a businessman. He's not a politician at that time, by the way. Businessman, basically they know how to make money, not how to lose. So in our business it's very easy. I must have made maybe 40, 50, 10 times millionaires than what does. Because what happens is, when you buy land, please understand this, lands are fragmented pieces. And when you buy when you try to develop, all our plan is on public domain in the town planning office. Anybody can go. So any smart person, and not 50 other people did the same. What they do, that they hire one retired town planner, retired tehsildar, patwari, and one hustler. Nothing else. This is the 3-4 organization. Do nothing. What they do, they go to the town planner website, find out where is, for example, DLF or Unitech or Ansal, wherever the private side development is going on, where is the layout? A town planner will tell you that road has to go, it can't go this way. Road will have to go this way. The gate entrance is this. So all in front of the gate, if somebody buys some land in front of you, your whole thing becomes 50% depreciation. Somewhere in the middle of the area it comes around, road cannot pass through. So we then do, we have to compulsorily buy those pockets of land, and smart people buy land, sit on it, do nothing. Patwari goes around, gets the shajra, they go around, give it more money to this, do nothing. They keep on waiting till such time that when we grow, we have to acquire the land. Without that, government doesn't acquire the land for us. So in the case of Mr. Vadra, simple, he's a businessman. He bought land because he knew where the developments are going on. That land was very vital for us. So our principle always is, if we pay X to somebody, we must make profit of 2X. Simple. You not lost, profit 2X. Besides, remove a menace from the place, because if somebody sits on our head, like take my house, and say if somebody has unauthorized jhuggi jhopadi on my gate, my value would go down. So the development of a township is a very complicated process. If you leave it, I give you a little example, you'll be understanding it. DLF Center, you've been there?
Yes,
No? DLF Center, I remember in 90 they started. It was, we had all tenants sitting there. So we negotiated with every tenant. We gave them 10 to 15 lakhs, nothing else, to vacate. Most people vacated. But there was one pawn shop, a little pawn shop, educated guy, and I used to do, this all done by me personally. So, and I don't take pawn, by the way. So I used to, agent will go, so one day he comes around, ke saab dekhiye, KP saab, वो बड़ा sophisticated है कि दुकान तो मेरी है, अब मुझे पता है आपने 10-15 लाख सबको दिए, उन दिनों की बात कर रहा हूँ, मुझको तो चाहिए 1 करोड़ रुपए इस पान शॉप का. That damn thing was only a little shop. अब ठीक है मुझे निकाल दो, go to court, मैं कोर्ट में फाइट करता. He knew very well that we cannot afford to go to court because court in India is 20 years process. So we have to pay. So we paid him this much money. And thank God we paid, our building came up. So in a real estate business, if some pockets of land come, which are either defacing your entry or inside, you have to buy them irrespective of who they are. So we don't know, water, nobody, there are 20 people come around like this. There is no politics in it. Question is, when we bought the land, have we made money? I think we must make 2-3x.
Sure.
So this is, if you were in my position, what would you do if you develop a township? Would you let somebody else sit on my head? And the more you sit, the more price will go up. So what is politics about it? It's only made completely distortion of facts by politicians who started giving speeches, and by then media picked up. And as you know, DLF policy we never respond to a media critic. We never say, we say, I mean, this is like so many things that keep on happening. We do our job right. So I can tell you conclusively, there was not even 0.1% irregularity in any business dealing which we had. Wrongly completely explained. That they were inquired today. And number two, but yes, for media it is a good thing. Blow up. So हमको फर्क नहीं पड़ता, हम तो we are used to it.
But you know, I want you to go back to the days of the IPO, because I do know that that was a very difficult and challenging period, a great degree of uncertainty. And then of course what transpired post that is a different story. But relive that time period for me. What do you think?
Can you imagine, if you want to know IPO? IPOs are generally 10 times checked in by lawyers, because the IPO documents are such. We as business people know, we engage lawyers to do accounting firms, everything. They do everything completely, everything carried out by them. So it's a question of whatever they say, and they have given us in certification that yes, everything is disclosed. If we say something left out disclosed, there's nothing called not disclosed. It pertains to some gentleman, as I said, who you find a lot of crooked characters in land. When you purchase land, they want to blackmail you. So they ask you some exorbitant price and we don't pay. We don't pay. So issue is simple is, For example, say one thing we would have paid him earlier, which were going our stated policy. So he went to SEBI, went around, went to Supreme Court. हमने तो कोई गलती नहीं की. Because we got all lawyers, everybody said this is in accordance, there is nothing which we have not disclosed. So it's a better subject do this. देखिए, business करने में, there will be no successful business unless you have people hitting at you. So the thing is how you respond and you keep going up.
We are going to take a break, but we continue our conversation with DLF's KP Singh right after this. Welcome back. You're watching On The Record with me, Shireen Bhan, and I'm in conversation with DLF's KP Singh. In many ways, one would argue that what DLF has been able to do, especially in the NCR region, is create islands of prosperity. These are gated bubbles which are disconnected from what's actually happening outside, which is no fault of yours. Is that something that you see changing? Do you have hope or confidence that we're at a point where the urban infrastructure is going to keep pace with the kind of development that we are seeing private developers do? Unfortunately
not. I've written a paper on it and I requested media to bring it on because please understand this situation. That why this, firstly, just I'll take a few minutes of you to explain why the state is like this. Because in 58, then government in 1958.
Nationalized.
Firstly, I said in 53, 54, the then government adopted a resolution called Socialistic Pattern of Society as a Way of Living, where the slogan was, think small and manage shortages. So that became a direction to everyone, the Planning Commission. That's why every industry you go, those days you cannot make more than 10,000 fans. You cannot. There were restrictions on the, because you have to think small, and you manage shortage by licenses and permits.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the same thing they apply to urbanization, which should have never been done. Because if you think small in urbanization, you make narrower roads. You think in apartment, you need smaller road, apartment. You think that there'll be only apartment will need maybe one car, one motorcycle, one cycle. Not realizing it's democratic India. The people are earning. So today, what is the status? Every apartment has got at least 3 cars.
Yeah.
Why this road? You say 12, 15 meters. Roads are required to be 24, maybe 30 meters. Now, there's no road because we have been trying, and fault is where? Is the master planning defective? Because master planning is still being done on myopic visions, based on thinking is small and creating and managing shortage, whereas it should be now think big and create bigger spaces, bigger road, like what they are doing in the highways. So in urbanization, this aspect has not come up, and this can only come when there's a direction from the central government and the state government together, because it's state subject.
Yeah.
And they understand, otherwise I see, frankly, please understand, with our Prime Minister at the helm, he's a doer, he's action-oriented. It's not $5 trillion to growth will happen. I can bet with anybody, more than 5 trillion will grow, because India has got a fantastic, talented entrepreneurs and young, we will grow.
Yeah.
But when you grow, what will happen to the existing infrastructure? There will be massive migration from rural area. All the roads will be full of traffic. Now you can't widen the road. Now to say widen means you got to demolish all the buildings all around is impossible. So once a mistake is made urban infrastructure, it cannot be set right. And that is the biggest lessons learned. Mistake to ho gaya. Now today, what do? How do you break all the houses? You see what bulldozer, what they go around. Can you do en masse and make it drainage, water supply? So therefore, the lesson learned is give a central direction to think big, change the concept of master plan. Master plan composition must be visionary people, visionary developers, because it can be, you have a very good competent bureaucrat, but they come for 3, 4 years, 5 years, they are transferred out. How can you develop a vision in 3, 4 years? And this is not only Delhi, this is all over India. So this is the fundamental effect. So once this is realized at the top, take it from me, at least future generations, back to yeah, but they will be at least able to get infrastructure and they will be commensurate with the projected growth of 5 trillion. Otherwise, they will offside it.
Yeah.
So I'm, with my experience, and I'm taken up this subject and said everywhere, that please do that. And secondly, you need new cities. As you say, McKinsey have projected Chicago, and new cities cannot come. No new Gurgaon can come, because when you see what happened to how I purchased the land integrated, it's mind-boggling. It took me 15 years. I used to be with every farmer. What I did.
Driving around.
No, I will be with them, eat with them, or all arranging everything. Nobody can do it. It's impossible. So therefore, what happens is, Nevada is a good example, where government acquires the land, auctions it out to a private sector. The development should be done by private sector only. So the government should acquire.
But the acquisition should be done by the government.
Yeah, and I believe, I'm told, I was wanting to check, that in this land acquisition law, whereas this present government, about 7-8 years back, had brought this amendment and included the land acquisition for townships.
That's right.
But that was deleted. Now you can acquire land for highways, infrastructure, but not for townships. So if you don't, if government is not empowered, how do you make it a township?
Yeah.
So there will be no township unless government is fully empowered to acquire land, auction it out. Private sector, you cannot make it. But development of townships should be done by private sector.
By the private sector.
As a partnership.
Absolutely. We are going to take a break, but we continue our conversation with DLF's KP Singh right after this. Welcome back. You're watching On The Record with me, Shireen Bhan, and I'm in conversation with DLF's KP Singh. I want to now talk about what you foresee as the future as far as DLF is concerned. Today, by market cap, India's largest real estate company, we of course have seen what you've done as far as Gurgaon is concerned. Is there a regret that perhaps the pan-India aspiration, if you had one, remains unfulfilled? Is that something that you would like to see?
No.
You've already got partners like GIC on board. What would you like to see as far as the future is concerned?
The thing is, unfortunately, real estate, people don't understand, is the most complicated business. Real estate is divided into two parts. One is land, purchase land and zoning it. That is the biggest, 90% problem. Once you have land, building is easy. No, you can have building carried out by. No, it is the land. The question is, when you get to land, purchase and assembly to make a bigger area. All kind of characters come, mafias and all. You deal with them. Politics come. Now we in DLF decided at that time, we are best at in NCR only. So we actually expanded, and then Rajiv was very smart. Within 2 years, we thought that is not our forte. We can't deal with the political and all the people there. So he just came in, except I think Chennai and Hyderabad, a couple of people, but not all India. It is foolish for a real estate company to order, because you can't deal with all the people all India. Be where you are. It is, and we are, therefore, we have got a very major land bank.
Yeah.
And we keep on, as you know, our buildings are better than the best. I wonder if you've been to our phase 5?
Not yet.
Oh my God, you should see, it is a different world. When you enter Camellia,
yes.
Have you been to Camellia?
Yes,
no?
yes.
But that is phase 5.
I wasn't sure which phase it was.
the Camellia golf course and all.
Yes.
Now that is an example of what a development of 1,000 acres should be in India. But could do it only within, we couldn't do it any outside. And I believe, therefore, this should be in complete refocus on making master plans, completely differently, and thinking bigger spaces and provide.
But what about accessibility and affordability? I mean, how many people can afford camellias or magnolias?
No, I'm coming to that. A successful master plan means for every section of society you create, you must understand it's not physically possible. Even communism is not possible. People to acquire. Now, for example, somebody wants to acquire an apartment here, it's expensive. But in a master plan, you make out areas where the labor force or middle income people are there, connect them to road network with the main center, develop that place as they are doing affordable housing, but should be done in a bigger way and should be done in a manner But that when people can afford, demand is so huge. Every section of demand, you have to understand, cannot be met by one category. So at the moment, like for the rural housing, I'm not talking about that, has been done extremely well by the government. And regarding the other matter, it's a matter of need more development, you need more people in it. As far as we are concerned, we are best at doing something which is better than the best buildings. And undoubtedly, when we get involved in doing something else, we have not diverted our attention. It becomes very easy to change your mind. Simple, directed that whatever you're doing, do the best. And example is for you to see.
You know, let me end by asking you, you've not just spent the last 50 years steering DLF, but I don't know how many people who don't know your story know about the fact that you spent a fair amount of your time in the army as well, which is where you actually got started, till you decided to quit the army and join your father-in-law and DLF. What would you say today, if I were to ask you, have been the lessons or the do's and don'ts that have steered you to where you are? What is it that you would like to leave as advice to the generation that's watching?
Shireen, what actually, when I reflect back in life now, I don't think anybody has more twists and turns in my life. I don't know how it happened. Imagine I started firstly my education in madrasa, in a small madrasa in Bulandshahr. From there I jumped off. When I did the graduation in Merit College. And from there what happened? There I became a horseman because I learned it. Completely different. And then I went to aeronautical engineering in England. Completely different. And from there, because I was a polo player, horseman, I switched on for selection by senders for Indian Army. I came from the Army. I enjoyed Army, everything, 9-10 years. Look at so, madrasa to aeronautical engineering to go to, is completely, when you come to the Army, I enjoyed every bit of it. I stood first in the academy in Dehradun, and I enjoyed every bit of my, till it came around that when I got married, I was very lucky to get married to a wonderful family and a great lady. They had only two daughters, not sons, so father-in-law prevailed upon me that it's high time, instead of playing polo, instead of come and share a bit in business. So that's how I came. Then I started manufacturing business, electrical motors and Willard battery. Thereafter, the family pushed me in 1975 to revive DLF again. DLF was totally closed. So for how many different twists and turns you have taken? But the biggest thing for me, it's question, if it was a challenge, most difficult was, how do you buy land from feudal families and how do you integrate it? It's the most difficult thing. And that too on credit, by the way. When I had no money. So credit can only, money, land will be given to you on credit, only one. When an owner has explicit confidence and faith in you, in your integrity completely, so I had to earn that thing. Not working, I had to really earn the faith of people, but it happened. Gurgaon is a classic example. Gurgaon would not have happened if I were not able to, the government never helped me to buy even a piece of land. I had to do it myself. It's my own thing. Now today you see how many, more than 12 lakhs is exponentially growing every time. There's a win-win position. Half the revenue of Haryana state comes from Gurgaon. And as you know, this type of people saying that there's a catalyst for bigger employment. How many people's homes are there? How many new generations have come around to bring businesses? So that's why a city like this, Gurgaon, is a pace setter, catalyst for creating more employment, for ensuring more income to the state, and for ensuring good homes, recreation, hospital, education centers. It's only a good city will do, not clustered up city, not the way we're doing before. So I hope they can do it. I just appeal to them to change, to relook at their urbanization policy.
Well, what's the next twist in the KP Singh tale?
Next twist, my next twist is how long I will keep on playing golf. Even now I play golf. A lot of people get surprised. Coincidentally, my
18
golf.
holes?
Yeah, and my golf has improved. My friend tell me, say, what the hell are you doing? Earlier, whatever I was doing, and the fact is this. I suppose when you are determined to do something, you see, my one basic thing in my life, you asked me a question, and this thing is, somehow, I always had a burning desire in my life, even for small, whenever, I must be something. So it became a way of life with me. Obstacles came. Now, a dark cloud, I never saw the dark, I saw the silver lining, the silver lining. So by nature, I became optimistic, everything I do. So for me, it became, when somebody 76, we saw, oh, impossible to develop Gurgaon. You have no money, laws are against you, banks are forbidden to give you money for lend. How the hell do you do that? I said, no, let's deal. So what looked impossible, I made it possible. So my life is based upon courage, conviction, always aim high, and try to make impossible into possible. That is my life.
Well, impossible is nothing, in the words of Mr. KP Singh. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here on The Record. We wish you the very best of luck and congratulations once again.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, with that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of On The Record. From all of us here on the team for this week, goodbye. Thanks very much for watching.